In the early 2000s, a team at Capcom was working on a game for the PlayStation 2. They didn't know it at the time, but this game would be one of the most important games in the console's library and would be influential enough to spark a multi-million-dollar series as well as its own game genre. This game was Maximo Army of Zin. Let's go, baby. Yeah, no, it's Monster Hunter. Before we get to World, allow me to preface just how important this game was, and also let me come clean about something. I may have hyped up Monster Hunter a little too much in the opening. To be completely honest, the first Monster Hunter wasn't some wild best game of all time or anything. It was more of a, yeah, it's alright. The early Monster Hunter console games were actually getting less sales than their portable cousins, and by a lot. Even a game as beloved, and hated, as Tri couldn't beat its handheld counterpart. 4 and Generations did very well, but those were still portable games. Now enter World. Now if you look really closely at World's sales, you can see, holy shit, that's a big number! Monster Hunter had been doing relatively well before this point, but World was a thing of its own. This catapulted the series from being technically popular to Capcom's #1 best-selling game, period. Don't even get me started on the fact that their 5th best-selling game is the DLC for World. World's DLC did better than a lot of the mainline games combined. But I'm being too much of a numbers guy right now. How about we take a look at the actual game and see why it sold so well. Starting the game up, you're immediately greeted by one of the most beautiful title screens I've seen for a game. Also, the wildlife sprinkled throughout the title screen is such a great detail. The forest gecko, the revolture, the climbing joy perch. I mean, there's a full-on ecosystem on the title screen. How is that not cool?
Sisters and brothers of the Fifth Fleet, it's time. I'll keep my farewell brief. Never was much with words. Once you board this ship, there's no turning back. The next ground your feet will touch will be that of the New World.
The game begins by giving you the short and simple. You're a part of the Fifth Fleet, a group sent by the Commission to investigate the New World. Basically, you've been drafted to be shipped off to a faraway continent where horrible sights await you and you're probably gonna die. Have fun. But of course, before you really get going, you need to make your character. And I'll be honest, it really doesn't matter considering your face is gonna be covered by armor anyways, so the 62 hairstyle options don't really matter, but it's nice they're there. But the character creator doesn't end with you. You also have to make your palico. Throughout Monster Hunter, palicos have basically been little supportive allies that help make hunts go faster. They can heal you, defend you, and damage the monster. And best of all, they're adorable. I mean, come on, man, look at that. After running away from Zora Magdaros, the big scary volcano dragon, you crash land onto the island you were originally supposed to go to. You navigate through a forest, run from some lizards, and boom, you've arrived at your new home. But before I talk about it, I want to bring up something real quick. Remember how the title of the video was Monster Hunter World, the Flawed Masterpiece? Yeah, well, this is where a lot of the flaws show really early on. For starters, welcome to Astera. It's a beautiful, lively place, and it's grand. Almost a little too grand, actually. You see, because World was less technically limited than past Monster Hunters, the team really wanted to show off how much they could do now, and Astera showcases that bold vision perfectly. Unfortunately, the side effect of making a big hub area means it's a pain to get around. Here's an example of how long it takes me to grab a meal in Monster Hunter 3. Pretty easy, right? Now here's how long it takes me to grab a meal in Monster Hunter World.
Remember, this is just grabbing a meal. This isn't even considering how much you have to move around to change your gear, accept quests, etc. You're going to be moving a lot, and it's going to take a long time. And speaking of long time, another issue, and perhaps one of the biggest ones, is that cutscenes are unskippable. What does that mean? Well, every time you go on a quest for a new monster, a little introductory cutscene plays to establish the monster to you, and sometimes the cutscene shows off a gimmick of theirs which lets you know what they can do in a fight. Sounds great, right? Well, it would be if it didn't prevent people from joining you until you've seen the cutscene. What this means is if you want to play this game with a friend, you have to wait for them to select the quest, find the monster, watch its cutscene through its entirety, and then you can join them. Multiplayer has always been a core component of Monster Hunter, and to have it be such a chore really hurt World. As much as I love this game, even I don't have an excuse for this, it just sucks. I know it may seem like I hate World, considering how much I've been talking about its faults, but I'm pointing them out because I want to hammer home that despite its downsides, I really do love this game. So how about we start praising it a little? First off, the combat. World's combat is infinitely more entertaining and engaging to me than past games. Just as an example, here's the longsword, one of the series' most popular weapons, and here's what it does in Try. That's it. Now here's what it does in World. And that's just longsword. Every single weapon also got some extra moves to its kit, while still feeling familiar to how it felt in the old gen. Let's just go over every weapon really quickly. Greatsword. Slow swings, big numbers. It's basically the weapon form of risk versus reward. Longsword. Hit multiple times to make your flashy moves bar go up. White goes to yellow, yellow goes to red, and red means good damage. Sword and shield. The simplest weapon in the game, and yet the best one. Unleash the wrath of God himself with a perfect rush, and block the power of a nuclear blast with your dinner plate of a shield. Dual blades. Fast hits, small numbers. Basically the opposite with greatsword, as the risk with these can be pretty low, but to make up for the damage you have to play aggressive. Hammer. Hammer goes bonk, big damage ensues. Do you like the Big Bang Theory? Hunting horn. The Monster Hunter team said we need a support weapon, and their answer was a bagpipe. Also, you literally get sheet music at the top of your screen. I wanted to play Monster Hunter, not for the orchestra. Lance. Poke, 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 block, 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 and maybe big poke sometimes. Gun lance. It's lance but gun. Instead of poke, 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 you get Wormstake cannon. Switch axe. What if it was an axe, but also a sword? Ooh. Charge blade. What if it was a sword, but also an axe? Ooh. Insect glaive. Throw your bug at other living animals to make it taste the rainbow. Red gives power, white gives speed, and orange gives defense. Also, you can fly now, have fun. Light bowgun and heavy bowgun. So this is basically one weapon split in two. The bowgun shoots a variety of ammo that has different effects. This can range from buckshot to airstrikes. The light bowgun lets you move around fast at the cost of less damage, while the heavy bowgun does more damage at the cost of speed. Bow! You'll never guess what this thing shoots. That's right, rocks. After finding a brand new weapon to call your own, it's time to get out there and hunt some monsters. And this is the other great part about World. Although the unskippable cutscenes are annoying and the story isn't really the main focus of the game, World's cast of monsters, both new and old, is great. Every single one is packed with their own little quirks and gimmicks, and I truly love all of them. So allow me to introduce every monster in World. 7-Eleven Big Gulp.
Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up.
Ew. Chugga 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 choo choo. The radioactive fish from The Simpsons. Flying squirrel with lightning rabies. Literally just a T-Rex. Realistic dinosaur train.
What if it was?
Pink. Hey, question, does this look like a flashbang? Flying squirrel with normal rabies. Single dad. Skeleton Roomba. Hey, did you know I'm here? Let me scream so you know. Hey, let me scream again. Red Cross blood donation. Angry Birds. Angry Birds 2. I love my wife who doesn't want to kill me. I love my husband who I want to kill. Die! And they say the earth is alive. Oh god, it is. He's just a baby boy. Oh my god, he's just a baby. Worst monster in the game.
Thanos. The game makes the joke about how he is a thorn in your side like 70 times, and to be fair, it fits because he's a real piece of shit. Rah, I'm a pickle. Rah. Rah, I'm a B-2 bomber. Rah. Charlie. I love my wife who doesn't want to kill me. I love my husband who I don't want to kill. Walking truth ad. I was born from the skies. I actually came from a steel mill. Long dragon. Hi, kitty. Oh, you thought Levisioth was the worst monster. And finally, the big, bad, evil, menacing final boss of Monster Hunter World, a literal child. After beating the final boss of World, the game sets you free and says do whatever you want. There are some monsters you can only do after you beat the game, like Lunastra and Behemoth, so you have those to keep you busy, but even without them, there's a lot of replay value in World. There's tons of weapons to try out, an infinite amount of builds to make with the game's staggering armor variety, but honestly a big thing I loved about World was just, well, the world. So thank you for watching, and please enjoy my final memento to Monster Hunter World.
Sisters and brothers of the Fifth Fleet, it's time. I'll keep my farewell brief. Never was much with words. Once you board this ship, there's no turning back. The next ground your feet will touch will be that of the New World. If any of you have lost your nerve, then step away now, and let no one judge you. Very well. Then sail safe and strong, and may the Sapphire Star light your way.